Alright guys, thanks for clicking on the video. Gonna do my entire Screen Factory Steelbook collection. So far there is 20 Steelbooks from Screen Factory. I did one of these videos last year. Since then I've got 2 or 3 Steelbooks to add to the collection for their line since then. So I figured go ahead and do an update video, and this is a little bit more of a simpler one. And plus I'll talk about the new one that they got coming out next month, which is kind of crazy because that film hasn't even been out a year yet through Screen Factory, and they're already pumping it right back out again in the Steelbook with a neck and all that. But you know me, I went ahead and pre-ordered it because I gotta have it. So telling you, this double triple dipping shit's getting way too expensive, so I'm gonna have to probably start limiting that a little bit more. I wanna get films from my collection that I don't have yet, instead of buying the same fucking film and have 2 or 3 different variations of releases for the same fucking film on the shelf. It's just ridiculous. Well guys, we'll be here for a minute, so sit back, grab you a snack, grab you something to drink, and let's power through this. Make sure I got everything on hand here. Guys, for every one of these Steelbooks that had a collector's edition as well, I do have that as well. With the slipcover, there is a few in there though the Screen Factory didn't release as a collector's edition, especially like the Roger Corman films that Shout Factory had released. I do not have any of the Shout Factory Steelbooks, but I do have all of the Screen Factory Steelbooks, and they all, of course, I pre-ordered through Screen Factory, so every one of them came with lithographs. Alright guys, let's jump right into it. So, I believe it was 2017, 2018, one of those years. Definitely one of them though. Screen Factory made an announcement that they were going to dabble into the Steelbook game with a lot of collectors. My opinion of it is, there's a lot of people who do love to collect Steelbooks. I am one of them. Not only do I collect Screen Factory Steelbooks, I love Arrow Video Steelbooks, Synops. I mean, I definitely do like their packaging. It's a little bit more unique. I know a lot of people fucking hate those things. There is some collectors who could give a shit less about Steelbooks. They'll literally throw them bitches in the trash. Don't even give a fuck about them. But I do like them. Like I said, so if you do like them as well, this video is probably for you. But anyway, they, like I said, 2017, 2018, it was about summertime, one of those years. Screen Factory announced that they were going to dabble into the Steelbook game, and they were going to release 3 John Carpenter titles right up front on the same release date. And like I said, every one of these, as long as you pre-ordered through Screen Factory, they came with a very odd dimension size lithograph. And I will tell you, I do have the lithographs for every one of these. And some of these releases do differ from the collector's edition release. If there is anything different, I will tell you, because I know them right off of hand, because there's the first, almost damn near first 10 they pumped out really didn't have any differences. Whether it was no new transfers, no audio mixes, no new special features, until we got to one of them. And then when I get to that one, I'll point it out. Anyway, guys, here's the first 3 that they released when they came right out with the Steelbook line. First one up was the Fog. I do like that artwork. Actually, out of all the lithographs hanging up, I think I have the Night of the Demons, Halloween 3. Those are just doubles that I have. I love those lithographs so much. I not only got mine from Screen Factory, but I went on eBay and bought a couple extra ones just because I was like, fuck, I want a couple more. I'm telling you, just bad spending habits. Anyway, I do have this lithograph. Actually, one of the very few I actually have hanging up. I have this one in my bedroom. Love the Fog. I know this is probably everyone's like 2nd or 3rd favorite in the John Carpenter films. Love the hell out of this movie. Nothing different from this one than the collector's edition release that Screen Factory had previously released. But yeah, and I think these a lot of these Steelbooks, until I get to the end, a lot of these Steelbooks were manufactured at 10,000 units apiece. So there's the Fog. Next one up is Escape from New York, which is definitely out of print now. I'm not sure about the Fog. I don't know if that's still available or not. I was walking into Best Buys and seeing some of those sitting on the shelf every once in a while. But I do know that Screen Factory no longer has the rights for Escape from New York. So this one's out of print, plus the collector's edition as well as out of print. There's no difference in between the discs. There's 2 discs. See how that album is. Next one up, which goddamn, I own so many copies of this movie. It's not even funny, but I had to have them all. And that is They Live. This is one of my, I don't know what it is. I love a lot of John Carpenter films, but damn, like this one right here, it really does. It takes the cake for me. Not only do I have the collector's edition with the slipcover up there on the shelf, I have this steelbook, and I got the 4K UHD bundle whenever they finally decide to process that order and get it in the mail to me, so I have that one on the way. But yeah, no difference in this one compared to the collector's edition up there on the shelf. I do like the artwork on it though. Let's see, next one up. Another John Carpenter film. This is Prince of Darkness. Here's another one I got coming on the way from Screen Factory. Hopefully they'll get here today or tomorrow. I don't know. I'll make a video though when I get it. But they do have this one in the collector's editions as well. They originally released it that way. Then they put out the steelbook. And now they got it coming in 4K. So, telling you, this fucking double, triple dipping stuff, man, is pretty fucking expensive. But it's John Carpenter stuff, and I'm a sucker for his shit. I'll buy anything that's John Carpenter, unless it's Starman, because I hate that fucking movie. I know a lot of people's gonna give me a lot of shit about saying that, but I hate that fucking movie. I bought it again just to have it because it was part of the Screen Factory Collector's Editions line. I had to fill in that gap and get it. I got that shit. I think I bought it at FYE, come home, popped it in the Blu-ray player, hadn't watched it in so many years, went to go watch it again. I was just like, fuck, man, I remember why I hate this movie. I just don't like it. It's not my cup of tea. This, on the other hand, that's a whole different ball game. I love the fuck out of Prince of Darkness. Do like the artwork for this. I will say some of the lithographs, though, I'm sure, especially if a lot of you have them, you can probably agree to this. You see the steelbook, see how bright colored it is and how it pops really good. Some of the lithographs are kind of dull, like just the paper they print on, or maybe just depending on whether the first prints, the first couple 100 that they printed were a little bit more brighter, and as it got to the end of the run, they got a little bit more duller. Who knows? But I can't tell you that the lithograph for this one that I have, that green color doesn't pop that well. But great packaging though. I love the hell out of it. No difference in this one. Like I said, no difference in nothing's different as far as the scan, the audio, special features, none of that. Here's another one right here, and that is Assault on Precinct 13. I do believe this is still available through Screen Factory. I'm not sure. I do know they still have the collector's edition. I don't think this is one that's went out of print. But yeah, no difference in this one and the collector's edition. Love the hell out of this movie. That's a great flick. As far as the John Carpenter titles goes, we already seen now where the Screen Factory's taking their dabble into 4K UHD. Their first two was, of course, They Live and Prince of Darkness. I would not be surprised if we see them roll out some more of their John Carpenter films in 4K UHD. That's one thing that Screen Factory really has the upper hand on, is the amount of John Carpenter films they have in their library for their license. So it would not surprise me at all if we see them like just roll these things out once again. Not only did they roll them out, as the collector's editions, their DVD collector's editions, their steelbooks, we'll see them do it again as the 4K UHD. I'm pretty sure sooner or later they're actually going to confirm Army of Darkness. I think what is that? I think that was Lionsgate, Anchor Bay, or whatever, put out the Evil Dead 1 and 2 on 4K UHD. Screen Factory has the rights for Army of Darkness, so that's going to come sooner or later. And speaking of Army of Darkness, that's exactly the one that's next. I do know that this one right here sold a little bit faster than the other steelbooks. I do know that this one now is sold out on the Screen Factory site. There's 3 discs in this, loaded with shit. I think there's like 4 different cuts of this film, a ton of special features, and yeah, it's one of my favorite films. So trust me, I have when I tell you, I probably own about 14 different releases of this film. I'm not bullshitting you. I have a lot of releases of that movie. But yeah, nothing different on that. Nothing different. No new special features, anything like that. Here's a Tobe Hooper film, Life Force. So a lot of big fans for this film. I've seen it numerous times. It's, you know, of course, if I had to like pick this one or Texas Chainsaw or something like that for my favorite Hooper film, it's gonna be fucking Texas. This one don't come close, but I do appreciate this one though. Nice artwork for that too. I'm trying to think. I think this one is one that's this one has a 4K scan on both versions of the film. So as opposed to the regular Screen Factory Collector's Edition. So this one does actually have better scans of the film. Next up, okay, here's where it gets a little crazy right here. When I announced this one too, I was very excited about it because it does differ from the original Collector's Edition, and that is The Howling. Sorry guys, that is just a dark cover. That's a dark colored steelbook right there. It doesn't really pop that well. Lithograph is the same fucking exact way. Everything on here is the same as the Collector's Edition, with the only exception is they actually added a new interview with Dee Wallace on this one. That's not on the Collector's Edition. So hopefully I got that one stated very carefully. That is the only difference in here. If I'm not mistaken, I don't even think they listed that interview with Dee Wallace on here, but it is on the disc though. I had to check that myself. So that is one of the big differences right there. So if you don't own The Howling yet, you don't have that Collector's Edition, you're like, hey, I want to grab one, which one should I probably go with? I'd go with a steelbook because you're going to get an extra interview in there if you care about supplemental material. Next one's up. Here we go. So really started changing up the game. You know, after Life Force and The Howling, Life Force getting those new 4K scans, The Howling getting that new interview special feature on the steelbook disc. This is Halloween 2. And this one actually got this has a new 4K scan of the original negative for the theatrical cut. They also did include the television cut in here, which they did include the television cut in the Collector's Edition. This was actually Screen Factory's first Collector's Edition on their first release. Like I said, they did include the television cut in the Collector's Edition. But one good thing about this one though is they do have a new 4K scan of the theatrical cut. I can tell you this looks fucking amazing. Halloween 2 is still one of my favorite sequels of all time. But I have a ton of favorite sequels, so that probably doesn't mean shit. Next up, here's another new 4K scan compared to the Collector's Edition. That's Halloween 3. I will tell you that I'm a big fan of Halloween 3. It took a little bit of time for that film to finally grow on me and appreciate it and accept it. But I can tell you that this one right here looks absolutely great with that 4K scan. Collector's Edition, everything is far supplemental material. Everything's the same, just the 4K scan. And of course the packaging. And I can tell you right now, that is some of my favorite art. When I got this one, they sent me the rolled lithograph. I still have it in a roll over here. I got on eBay and had to buy another one of them bitches because I just wanted another one. And when I finally made my movie room back here, I was like, you know, I got those doubles of Night of the Demons and Halloween 3. What a perfect spot to put those in right there where I can always look at them. But yeah, because I love the artwork on that shit right there. But I can tell you the 4K scale on that looks beautiful. They did such a great job on those and gave them so much justice. Let's stack those down here so I don't fucking... here's one of my favorite movies right here. And this thing looks beautiful. This is also in a 4K scan. That's Night of the Demons. Like I just said, guys, you can probably see that behind me. There's the lithograph right there. Those lithographs, I wish they would have done like a normal size so we could frame those a little bit easier. But the lithographs are like in this really odd fucking dimension, so you really have to go buy like a bigger, if you want to, you know, not pour a ton of money into framing those, you have to go buy like a bigger frame from Walmart and manually, you know, cut it down yourself to fit size. And it's a little bit of a pain in the ass, especially when you got 20, 22 fucking lithographs to do all at once. But I can tell you, this thing looks absolutely great. I do have the Collector's Edition of this up there on the shelf. I can tell you that this one right here takes the cake as far as the video goes. Looks great. One of my favorite Kevin Tenney films. I do have the Collector's Edition. It took me a little bit to track it down, a little bit of story to go with it, but I'll save some time. I was trying to get the Collector's Edition commission art poster that Screen Factory originally put out, and with the Collector's Edition, It's like an 18 by 24 poster. That was still when Scream Factory was folding their posters. To find a lot of those, they're a little bit harder to track down because they've been out for, for a couple of years now. A lot of people didn't keep those. A lot of people threw them away, or they got on eBay and they sold them immediately. We sold them in bundles, whatever. But actually, I found a really nice guy on eBay, and he sold me Night of the Demons, Day of the Dead, and Body Bags. And man, those three posters are just beautiful. They're some of my favorite posters that have Day of the Dead right there. The original of this right here is hanging up in my living room for the collector's edition release. And the Body Bags collector's edition commissioned art. I have that in my living room as well. But love everything about this movie. I love everything about this release. I can't say I would have liked to have seen a lot more of the talent participate in fucking interviews for this. But it is what it is. And, I mean, they definitely, they got some stuff on here. More commentaries, more than anything else. But I would have definitely liked to seen, like the whole cast, like do like a roundtable discussion, like they did for that Creep show. I know that's more sought after, because that's everybody's, one of their favorite films. But for me, this is one of my favorites, and to see like a roundtable discussion with everybody. If Scream Factory was to say like, hey, we're going to put this out as a 4K UHD release, but we're also going to include like a roundtable discussion with the entire cast, fuck, man. There's no limit on how much I'd spend on that. But anyway, guys, it's Night of the Demons. Next up here, let's keep it going. Oh, another Carpenter classic right here. John Carpenter is a thing. I do know that this one is sold out through Scream Factory. I should have said, however, let's go back to this one. I'll run it through a little bit. I think this was, in fact, the first steelbook that Scream Factory released that actually came with a NECA, and it came with a NECA of Angela. I got that in there on my mantle in my living room. I had to have it. Night of the Demons, like I said, is one of my favorite films. So you got the steelbook with a new 4K scan. You got the lithograph, which I have hanging behind me, and you got the NECA figure of Angela. I think it was like $65, something like that. And as soon as they announced it, I jumped on it. Had to have it. I was very excited about seeing the new 4K scan. Steelbook packaging itself was, the package alone, I'm a sucker for that too. So, but yeah, it actually came with a NECA though, and I do have it. I know that NECA is long gone, that's for sure. I've seen that sell for some stupid money on eBay. I will never sell mine, that's for sure. Love it too much. And you have to check the site to see if this is still available. I did see it very cheap during, I think it was like 2019's Shocktober sale. And I was trying to tell everybody, like, look, man, if you don't have that movie, like, now's the perfect time. They were literally selling the steelbook for like fucking $14-15. I'm like, that's a steal. That's a great flick though, and like I said, that was one of the first steelbook packages bundles that came with a NECA figure. There is some more, and I'll holler those out as I go. Here's one right here that is definitely, go back to the thing, this is definitely sold out on the Scream Factory website. Pre-ordered this when it was announced. Came with a lithograph as well. This was limited to 10,000. It did take them a little bit to sell out, but that lithograph went fucking fast. They didn't make 10,000 lithographs, as well as 10,000 steelbooks. I have no idea I think I wrote it down somewhere, but I can't remember what the lithographs were limited to. Probably maybe like 1,500, something like that. And those went fucking fast. But this John Carpenter is a thing. Everybody's gonna jump on this shit. But I'm very glad to have got that. One thing about this, alright, so they released their collector's edition, and that had a 2K scan of the film, plus a shitload of special features. So what they did for this one is they took everything that was in the collector's edition, put it in here on those 2 discs again, but they added a 3rd disc that has Arrow Video's 4K scan of the feature film. So it was nice to see that Arrow Video and Scream Factory did collaborate for each other's scans. I've seen them do that with Carrie. Arrow Video sourced out Scream Factory's Carrie release when they put out their set of Carrie. And I've seen a few others like that, so it's nice to see that they actually work together. Would be really nice to see them collaborate a lot more in the future, just to see, especially for a lot of people who's not region free here in the States, and they don't want to go through the process of buying a region-free player, which I think any collector at this point should fucking have one. Just makes life so much more simpler, and opens up your library a lot. So many possibilities you can do with your library. But anyway, guys, I hope I covered that one good enough. But like I said, that third disc in here, that's a big bonus that's in this pack. That's not in the collector's edition because they actually got Arrow Video's 4K scan and it looks fucking great. But yeah, guys, that came with a lithograph. Like I said, that went pretty quickly, if my memory serves me correctly. And, I have that thing sitting right over there. Also have the when they released this, the collector's edition of this. This was one of the very few that they've released in a collector's edition that actually came with 2 slipcovers and 2 posters. And I was fortunate enough to get my hands on those as well. Love John Carpenter shit. I'll go to the fucking moon and rob a bank if I got to buy his shit. Alright, guys, so I think the next 4 up is the Roger Corman films. All 4 of these came with lithographs. Each one came with a lithograph. And I can't remember which ones are sold out or not on the site. You'll have to look if you're interested in them. But I know Screen Factory never released these in their line. I know they did Piranha 2. That's all I can really think of. This was more of Shout Factory's releases when they originally released them. And then Screen Factory put them out as steelbooks on their line. So the first one up is Forbidden World. I'm trying to think of what year that was from. Don't want to waste everybody's time though. 1982, I believe. New 4K scan. That's a 4K scan of the theatrical cut. And then you got a new 2K scan of the only existing film print director's cut. So you can get best of both worlds right there. You got theatrical and director's cut, and they give you the best scans they could. So, yeah, that's Forbidden World. Let's keep it moving. Next up, I have watched this numerous times. I love the hell out of this movie. I have no idea why I do not own Piranha 2, The Spawning from Screen Factory yet, but I will get my hands on that sooner or fucking later. I have no idea why I don't own that. Anyway, this has a new 4K scan of the original camera negative. You do get a new audio commentary on this one as compared to the Shout Factory release. So there is a difference in those. I will try to look back. I think it's only just the scans for Forbidden World, but this one does actually have a new 4K scan and audio commentary exclusive to this steelbook as opposed to the Shout Factory release back in the day. And, guys, if you've never seen Piranha, that's a lot of fun right there. Roger Corman was a fucking guy who could take only a few bucks and pull off a fucking film. But from what I hear, he was very driven to make films. He could do it with very little money. He had a lot of restrictions in place. From what I used to hear back in the day, I think even Joe Bob Briggs even said it before. Like, if you were a female and you were trying to be an actress in one of his movies and you did not want to go nude, you pretty much didn't have a job with Roger Corman after that. So I'm sure today a lot of people will probably look at that and that's probably not acceptable or whatever, but that's just how shit was. So anyway, next one up, guys, is Humanoids from the Deep. This is a great film right here. This shit right here is I don't want to say it's like it's so bad it's good, but there's definitely some elements in here where I go, damn, like he was getting away with some shit back in the day. But I was trying to think of what year this was from. 1980? Yeah, 1980. On here you get a new 4K scan of the uncut international version from the original camera negative, which that's a fucking mouthful. A new 4K scan of the uncut international version from the original camera negative. So it's kind of crazy that the only uncut version they could find, which was an international cut, original camera negative. But looks like all the same features that's on here is on the Shout Factory release. So you should get a new 4K scan of that though when you buy the steelbook. Next up, here's another one right here. This is Galaxy of Terror. You get a new 4K scan of the original film elements. All the rest of the features on here looks like the existing features that was on the Shout Factory release. And, like I said, guys, all these so far has been limited to 10,000 units for each steelbook. But I will tell you, as I go down here, we've only got a few more left. That quantity does change. I think Screen Factory set on some of those for a little too long and had way too much overhead inventory, whatever you want to call it, in the warehouse. And they were like, you know what, whenever as we probably pursue to keep making steelbooks, we'll probably not do 10,000 of them. because we're keeping them around for a couple years. They're probably just ready to make them, dump them, get the money, and call it a fucking day. Here's one right here I bought in a very big bundle kit. It's pretty fucking expensive too. This is Big Trouble in Little China. So the everything bundle that I bought from Scream Factory when this was announced included the steelbook, the collector's edition with a slipcover. There was a lithograph and a poster. The lithograph was of this artwork. The poster was of the Scream Factory commissioned artwork. And also a 7-inch vinyl, which you could probably see right there on that top shelf. It's in a black case with a semi-truck on the front. It's a 7-inch vinyl. I think mine's green inside. I don't know if there was any color variants or anything, but anyway, 2-disc set. Everything on here is the exact same as the collector's edition. It's kind of funny, after I paid all that money for this big ass set, I did see Walmart actually get the collector's edition with slipcover sitting on the shelf for like $13, and I was like, holy fuck. But I had to have it all because it's Carpenter, so I had to pay big money for all that. Alright guys, so here comes another one of my favorite steelbooks they've done. This thing looks great. I'm a huge fan of this film. This was also another release that came with not only a lithograph but also a NECA figure. And I pre-ordered this thing as soon as it was announced. And this came out exactly 1 year ago this month. Yeah, because it was January 2020 when they released this. And guys, this thing is, if you don't own this, I highly recommend this. It's one of my favorite films right here. Even love the sequel to this one. The sequel to this is so fucking bad. It's awesome. Guys, that is Slumber Party Massacre. Like I said, lithograph for this actually looks really, really good. And they did do a NECA figure right there of our guy. And yeah, there's a new 4K scan from the original camera negative. I do have the standalone release from Scream Factory over there, which I think that's just a 1080p release of that, but I do have that one over there. Do plan on keeping that one as well, because I just love this movie so much. They do an interview with the guy who plays the next door neighbor in this movie, and he's the guy who's like supposedly like looking out, who's like keeping an eye on the girl who's like staying in her house by herself while her parents go on this trip. And I'm surprised Scream Factory actually put that fucking interview on this disc. It's even on that one too. I'm surprised they even went ahead and just put that interview on there, because that guy is fucking batshit crazy. It looks like they're sitting in like this office room that he has in there while they're doing the interview, and he's got like post-it notes like stuck to the fucking ceiling. He's talking off the wall shit, and he starts singing out of nowhere. It's fucking like just straight up cringe. And I was sitting there watching that shit, and I was like, where's this gonna go next? And by the time that interview was over, I was just like, holy fuck. Like, I'm pretty sure Scream Factory only left that interview in there because they were like, well, fuck it, we've already paid him for the interview. Like, we scrapped this whole idea. We're just out of money and no fucking feature to throw on this shit. But I can tell you guys, if you will just take just maybe a half hour, however long it is, I can't remember off the top of my head, but either if you got this one, pop that disc in, or if you got the original release, pop that fucking disc in and watch the interview. Fuck, man. Is it Sleepless Nights, the making of Slumber Party Massacre? Nah, it's the interview with actor Rig Kennedy. That's his name. That's the next door neighbor. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, you get a chance to watch that interview, you'll be like, dude, you were spot on. That guy's fucking nuts. He's probably definitely fucking done too much acid back in the day or some shit. But that's a great film, though. Don't let that deter you from it. The guy's just crazy as fuck, but that is an awesome movie. I don't know what it is about that flick, but I do revisit this fucking movie constantly every year. I'll at least watch this movie at least 4 or 5 times. No shit. But love the hell out of it. Okay, here's the 2 new latest ones from Scream Factory. These both, usually Scream Factory steelbooks are limited to 10,000 units. However, these next 2, when they announced them, they said that they were limited to 5,000 units. And I was even talking to Frank Fulci, and I was like, wow, man, like, you know, because he knows I collect all the Scream Factory steelbooks, and he was like, that number doesn't seem right. Like, didn't they used to make more of those? And I was like, damn right. Like, they usually make 10,000 10,000. Their quantity is always 10,000 per steelbook, and now they're talking about 5,000. So I knew right off the bat, I was like, yeah, the Screen Factory's probably sick and tired of keeping all the overstock and overhead in their warehouses, because they definitely do. They keep them around for a couple years. I always see them in the sales too, and shit like that. Usually by the time the sales come up, some of them may still have the lithograph available with them just because they didn't sell very well. Or they'll at least, the lithograph will be sold out, but they'll still have the steelbook and shit like that. Which a lot of these I could have waited till one of the sales hit, but just waiting for Screen Factory to do a sale was just always a challenge in itself. So I always just jumped on them as soon as I could. But here's one of my favorite films right here. This is fucking awesome. Arrow Video did a great job putting this one out as well. Guys, that is Motel Hell. For this steelbook, though, you do get a new 4K transfer from the original camera negative. I have watched this one and then turned around and put the collector's edition right in just to see if I could tell a very big difference between just the collector's edition Blu-ray release or the 4K scan. There's a definite big difference. The next one has an even more. I mean, it's just fucking night and day for that release. But I can tell you that this one definitely does look really good as well. At first, I went to go watch it the first time, and it had been a while since I watched it, and I was just like, I don't really see a big difference in this. Come here, and I grabbed the Blu-ray off the shelf from the collector's edition, put these back in behind each other, and I was like, yeah, I can fucking see it now. But yeah, guys, it's a great film. Like I said, there's a new 4K transfer from the original camera negative on this, as opposed to the collector's edition up there. It's a great fucking film, and the lithograph for this looks really good too. Like I said, they have a collector's edition of that right there. Also, Arrow Video has released it back in the day. Also have that release. Remember watching Toddy Walnuts when I first stumbled across his channel, and some of his videos he was doing was the Screen Factory release of Motel Hell versus the Arrow Video release of Motel Hell. And he did a nice little series of videos where he was picking which one was the best one. And I love those videos so much, and usually whenever I came across those titles, I bought both fucking labels released. Alright guys, here's the last ones that I have in my collection. Here's number 20 right here from Screen Factory. There's a big difference in this and the collector's edition, and that is Pumpkinhead. The 4K scan of this fucking film makes this shit pop. Those night scenes look really good. They left the grain intact. They didn't try to clean it up so much where they're actually manipulating and removing shit in the film in its original state. I can tell you this thing looks fucking beautiful. One thing I haven't noticed is I've seen a lot of people like on the Screen Factory Facebook pages and shit like that. I've seen other YouTubers grab the steelbook and not say jack shit about it. But I can tell you, I've literally took the Blu-ray from the collector's edition, popped it in, watched it, and then took this one, put it in right behind it. Fucking night and day difference. Especially, I mean, we all know Stan Winston went above and beyond with this movie with the fucking special effects and everything else. The team that he had working on this, and that shit looks great in here. So guys, if you do not own a copy of Pumpkinhead and you're seriously thinking about getting one, go for this steelbook. That bitch looks great. Of course, I do have the collector's edition up there with the slipcover. Even finally got the poster from a buddy of mine. I love the hell out of that release. I'll never sell it. Pumpkinhead is just one of my favorite films, and I'm telling you, if you're gonna buy one, buy this one. This is the way to fucking go. Now, since we're all done with that, I'll show you the stack of them right quick. Here's what we all just went over. Here's all 20 steelbooks right there from Screen Factory, starting with The Fog, and then with Pumpkinhead. Like I said, guys, they don't number those or anything. I'm just telling you, there is 20 steelbooks in the Screen Factory line as we speak. But here in a matter of weeks, that's going to be a little different, because number 21, their 21st steelbook will come out. Yeah, there's ups and downs of this. It is what it is, though. Fuck it, I ordered it just because I had to have it. I gotta have all the steelbooks since I got this far. Plus, it comes with a NECA, and this is a badass fucking flick. I love this movie. But anyway, guys, let's see. February 2020. Screen Factory released a monumental release that everybody had been waiting for, and they did such a great job of this. They actually got the theatrical cut, which you asked me, which fucking sucks because they took out all the gore of this movie, but they also included the director's cut, which is the fucking meat of that fucking plate. It's the meat and potatoes, the whole fucking thing, and it is awesome. They did such a great job. It looks and sounds great. So we can't bitch about it too much, but guys, that is My Bloody Valentine. So they released this last year, almost a year to date. This was a deluxe bundle. It's you pre-ordered in time, you can make the selection of where you can get both slipcovers and both posters of these artworks. So I got them. I was very happy, very excited. Even convinced a couple of my friends to grab this who had never seen it. Turned them on fucking hard as fuck to this movie. They were like, "Damn, I can't believe I've never seen that movie." And we all had the same opinion. Like, you can basically take the theatrical version disc in here. Don't worry, you'll never fucking want to watch it after you watch it the first time compared to the director's cut. For the theatrical cut, they took every fucking square inch of gore out of that movie and just made it a shit show. But the director's cut, it puts it all right back in there. It's completely uncut. You get new 4K scans of both of the theatrical and the uncut version from the original camera negative. This bitch is loaded with features. So I was very happy to get that when they came out. But I was kind of wondering, a few months ago, they made the announcement saying, like, hey, we're going to take My Bloody Valentine and we're going to make a steelbook release out of it. And I was like, okay, like, whoa. Like, fuck, man, you just literally, you haven't even had the collector's edition out, not even a year yet, and you're already talking about a steelbook release? Like, fuck, man, you could have at least gave a little bit more time to the collectors, or maybe, you know, stretched it out a little bit more. Because I don't really think a lot of people is going to order that, given the fact that they just literally just bought that movie, like, not even a fucking year ago. But that's just my opinion on it. I can tell you, I am one of the people who did fucking pre-order that steelbook. It comes with a steelbook. There's no difference in the disc from went over every little aspect of that shit. There's nothing different on the disc. All the same special features. The uncut, the theatrical cut is there. It's a 2-disc set. It does come with a lithograph of the artwork for the steelbook. However, they did do a pretty, from the picture I've seen it, from what I've seen of it, hopefully it holds up to that picture. But they did do a NECA figure of our dude right there. So I gotta fucking have that. So that will be Scream Factory's 21st steelbook. And at least it comes with a NECA figure. And I'm telling you right now, that shit wasn't cheap neither. I think for that steelbook, the figure, lithograph, it's kind of weird how they done that steelbook too. Usually, like the Night of the Demons one or the Slumber Party Massacre, if you didn't want the NECA figure, it wasn't a problem. You can make the selection just to get the steelbook, and the lithograph came with the steelbook. But for My Bloody Valentine, the only option you have is like, well, if you only want the steelbook, then you can just get the steelbook. But if you want that lithograph, you have to order the deluxe kit that actually has the NECA figure and the steelbook. So the lithograph's not coming with only just the steelbook. So any of you guys out there who just ordered just the steelbook and you're thinking you're getting that lithograph, you might want to check that again, because that lithograph is not going to come with just that steelbook. You got to order the whole kit. So that's Scream Factory's little change in the way they kind of market their products. I've always seen the steelbooks come with the lithographs, but for this one, for My Bloody Valentine, coming up here next month, if you want that lithograph, if you are one of the people who do collect the lithographs and you hang them up and you frame them and all that stuff, and you really want it, better make sure you get that deluxe bundle that comes with the steelbook and the NECA figure, because that's the only way you get in that lithograph. But I think that was, I think that bundle was $65 for the pre-order plus tax. I think it might have been like $70, maybe a little over, something like that. I just can't really remember at this point, but fuck it, I had to go ahead and pre-order the damn thing because I gotta have it. Guys, that's my entire Scream Factory steelbook collection. We're right here at 40 minutes. I didn't mean to make it so long, but you know me, I get excited about my shit. I like a lot of it, and I start rambling. Hopefully I filled in every detail, especially if you guys are looking into getting any of those. Like I said, I just made this video last year of these. I don't think I had maybe 2, possibly 3 steelbooks in that old video that I've got now, because of the latest ones. I'll pre-order the steelbooks as soon as they announce them. I'll continue to keep doing that. Who knows what, if they'll continue to keep releasing steelbooks, they're probably going to see how their sales numbers look for Prince of Darkness and They Live 4K disc to see what they're going to work with next. I'm pretty confident they're going to announce Army of Darkness 4K pretty soon. That was leaked not too long ago. I'm trying to think of what outlet had leaked that information, that Scream Factory was in the works of doing an Army of Darkness 4K UHD set. I do know that Jeff Nielsen himself did confirm that, though. It was leaked, but he went ahead and confirmed it. They have not announced it, though, or made a release date of it. But it'll be kind of interesting, though, to see what Scream Factory is going to do this year going forward with steelbooks. I can tell you right now, for 2020, there was only 3 of them. Now Slumber Party, Massacre, Motel Hell, and Pumpkinhead. Motel Hell and Pumpkinhead didn't even come out till like October 2021, so there was like 9 months there where we didn't even get a steelbook. It was just they did Slumber Party Massacre in January of 2020, and I'm kind of surprised that we actually got Pumpkinhead and Motel Hell in October 2020, because that's when the Friday the 13th, they had literally just announced the Friday the 13th box set, and everybody got really fucking excited. And no shit, it was like a couple hours later, like it was like, yeah, by the way, we're gonna put out Pumpkinhead and Motel Hell steelbooks. So that was an expensive fucking day for me. I went ahead and pre-ordered both those steelbooks with the lithographs, which is like I think it's like $28.99 plus tax a piece. There's 2 of them, plus that Friday the 13th box set with the poster and lithograph. And fuck, I think that was like $160 plus tax. That was a fucking expensive day. But at least I got them all though, so I can't bitch too much. But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for the video. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please feel free to do so. Hit me up in the comment section if you're interested about getting any of those, or maybe something I just didn't cover really good. You want to know a little bit more about it, please feel free to hit me up in the comment section. Yeah, guys, that'll do it for this video. Thanks for sticking around, watching to the end. If you did make it here to the end, you're a fucking champ. I salute to you. But, guys, stay safe. Be careful.